Even those who had only satisfactory marks in geography know that Lebanon is the pearl of the Middle East. It borders with Syria in the east and with Israel in the south. By its size, Lebanon occupies 161st place in the world. But these rocks, on the background of which I try to soar like an eagle, are not 6,000 years old, and not even 600,000, and not 6 million. They're 160 million years old. So forgive me, dear residents of Israel, Tunisia, Armenia, Turkey, but everything indicates that it started here. I've just floated at a height of 150 meters above the earth, and now I'm at the level of 800 meters below. This is the oldest of the now open caves with stalactites, and the beach which I'm lying on is the only underground beach in the world. There are rumors that the ancient gods were also sunbathing on it. And by the way, about gods, the main Lebanese miracle of the world is before us, the ancient city of Baalbek, seeing which it's difficult not to lose speech. The city was founded by the Phoenicians, and I won't go against the truth if I say that the Phoenicians are the greatest merchants and inventors of all times and peoples. Well, for example, they were the first to invent the alphabet, thereby teaching the world literacy. They were the first to boil soap, thereby introducing hygiene into the masses, and there are rumors that they were the first to make glass. In other words, for its time, Phoenicia was the world technological and financial center. Well, it's like imagining the Silicon Valley and New York in one place today. In fairness, it should be said that the Phoenicians succeeded no less in city planning. Imagine that you're a construction site supervisor and the customer sets an unusual task before you to produce and deliver a building block from point A to point B. But not this one. But this one. There's one small nuance. The case takes place about 2,000 years before the invention of excavators, cranes, and other construction equipment. But there is good news. There are about 100,000 slaves at your disposal. And that's done. The problem is solved. The proof of this is behind my back. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present the largest brick in the world to you. The word Baalbek can be translated into English as Devil's City or Satan City. Now I will explain why. There was such a pagan god Baal. He was responsible for the rain, thunder, and sun. His full name is Beelzebub. He entered the biblical tradition under the name Beelzebub or Satan. The cult of worshipping of Baal was cruel enough. Now, of course, in peacetime, everything was calm, but when there was a disaster in the city, such as an earthquake, illness, when enemy was approaching the walls, the people of the city sacrificed their most valuable sacrifice, their children, to their god. They put the children in a catapult and threw them across the city wall, straight into the fire, and in order not to hear their screams, they turned on the music louder. Now, do you understand how much the life of children in ancient times was more difficult than yours? Will you study well? You may go. Shoo! Run, everyone is free. Blockheads. The most intelligent and educated part of humanity, viewers of our show, know for sure that all the largest cities in the world were based on intersections of trade routes. Baalbek is an exception to these rules. When the city was built, there were no trade routes in these places. They just appeared thanks to the city and the entrepreneurial drive of the Phoenicians who inhabited it. That's why I call the Phoenicians genial merchants. Until the 70s of the last century, Lebanon was one of the most prosperous states in the Middle East. But in 1975, a civil war broke out in the country. Officially, it lasted for 15 years until 1990. although in fact, the fighting took place until recently. The war caused enormous damage to the country, but in the 21st century, Lebanon is gradually regaining the status of a prosperous state. Local markets are a brilliant confirmation of this, and literally brilliant.
Oh, we cannot imagine an old soup without gold on it, right?
Yes.
Why?
This is an interesting gold
Yes.
place, actually. We need to enter.
Thanks God, it's
AC.
cool here.
Yes,
AC. Give me 2 minutes. That's it. My name is Sasha. Hello.
I am Hussein.
Assam. Hussein, I've seen a lot of gold shops all over the world and in Middle East, of course. And the question is ordinary. What is? How do you know? What is the difference between Lebanon gold or, for example, Turkey gold?
Gold of different purity is sold everywhere. We measure it in carats. There is gold of 14 carat rate, 18 carat, and 24 carats.
If you want to talk about the quality of this gold and or designer's detail, for example, maybe you have some special Lebanon design.
Look, here is our traditional design.
This is design, you can see it Lebanese, and this design like Middle Eastern design over here in the Khalij. See, they like the snake. As you know, they have the cobra in the deserts.
Ah, snakes. And how expensive is this ring, for example?
This is $300.
We'll have to wait until I arrive in the Arab Emirates, of course, in order to compare prices, but $300 for such a weighty ring. Yes, a wedding ring is not a simple thing. 18 karat gold, $300. Quite cheap, even for a shawarma vendor. The north of the Arab Republic of Lebanon isn't the most peaceful place on the planet Earth these days. After all, it's a stone's throw from here to Syria. However, it's necessary to go to the Lebanese north, at least because an ancient city of Tripoli is situated there. Once it was the center of the Great Phoenician Confederation, a flourishing ancient Greek, Persian, Roman, Arab trading city, the capital of the homonymous country of Crusaders. In the 12th century, today Tripoli is the second largest city in Lebanon with a population of 500,000 inhabitants. Local markets are considered the best in the whole country. Local confectionaries are a fit match to them. The ancient market of Tripoli occupies the entire old part of the city, and the fastest way to reach Tripoli from the Lebanese capital is the highway along the Mediterranean Sea. The travel time is just over an hour. To tell you the truth, the assortment of all Eastern markets is the same everywhere. These are carpets, sweet stuff, gold, and gifts for unfamiliar people. The reason why one should come here for real is, of course, the inexpensive atmosphere of the Eastern market, which you can't cover with any Chinese consumer goods. And all the journalistic cliches about Ali Baba's Cave of Treasures, about the 1001 Nights, are more relevant here than ever. But if you know the moves, you can get to such a place. Soap is made with use of old technologies here. It's also sold here. This is, for example, laundry soap, judging by the smell. Well, I feel like a fish in the water among household and cleaning products, you see. Remember that the first bar of soap was made by ancient Phoenicians many thousand years ago. Their descendants, the residents of modern Lebanon, successfully continue the business they started. Oh, that one smells better. The tar, natural. So in general, the story that we honor traditions, we keep ancient recipes, pass them from generation to generation, can often be heard at a market, and it's not always true. But you can believe unconditionally everything that this person will tell you now. His name is Mahmoud Al-Sharkas, or Mr. Washi Washi, as his friends call him. Oh, this smells so delicious, like in childhood. Lemonade Buratino.
Welcome to my workshop. It's been here since 1803. All my ancestors in the male line have been engaged in soap making. I am already a soap maker of the 7th generation. I make soap from natural olive oil. Soap can be bought in any supermarket in Tripoli, of course, but it is ordinary and not as useful as mine. Animal fat and a lot of chemicals are used in its production. I make soap with olive oil. It is suitable for adults and children, regardless of the type of their skin. It heals abrasions, relieves itching from insect bites. The The production of soap, from the first to the last stage, takes several months. First, the soap is mixed up and boiled. Then it should be allowed to cool. Then you should remove water, boil it again, pour to the ground, let it harden, cut into pieces, and scrape to make it perfectly smooth.
Natural olive soap for 2,000 Lebanese liras. Olive soap with honey for 5,000 liras. This is 90 and 220 rubles respectively. Only for nothing could be cheaper. Well, and the last thing, if my recommendations mean something to you, the best thing you can bring from Lebanon is a bar of soap, made manually according to the oldest technology on earth. Well, and we'll look for the rope in other world markets. I'm just kidding. According to the degree of antiquity and interest, perhaps only the store of Joseph Abi Saad can compete with the shop of Mahmoud al-Sharkas in Tripoli. Just go about 100 kilometers strictly to the south and get to the Lebanese town of Byblos to visit Mr. Joseph, one of the richest Phoenician settlement cities. Byblos became world famous due to the cedar that was supplied from here to King Solomon in Jerusalem, as well as to his colleagues, the kings of Babylon and the Egyptian pharaohs. In Byblos, the world's first alphabet was created in the 10th century BC. Byblos is just a half-hour drive from Beirut, and Beirut, as you may probably know without me, is the capital of the modern Republic of Lebanon. Today, 4.5 million people live in Lebanon. Most live in Beirut. The first mention of this city can be found in chronicles dating back to the 15th century BC. The capital of Lebanon used to have most various names: Mediterranean Switzerland and Middle East Paris. Lebanon used to be a French colony for many years, and the contemporary owners of the country rebuilt it in the manner of their seaside cities like Nice or Cannes. It was not a bad example to follow, you should agree. However, in my opinion, a different name is more suitable for the modern capital of Lebanon. Oh! Beirut is the Moscow of the Middle East. The entire business is here, and most fashionable shopping malls are here. The noisiest clubs, discos, and restaurants are here too. All the fat, here it is. And now it's time to say goodbye to the great, ancient, interesting, and incredibly mouth-watering Lebanon. With its hospitable and hard-working inhabitants, who are lucky to be born on the fertile and strategically important plot of land once called Phoenicia. Having visited this place, I personally became convinced that modern Lebanese are no less sophisticated entrepreneurs and merchants than their great ancestors, the Phoenicians. Continuity of generations and strict adherence to centuries-old traditions are honored above all here, in spite of all the adjustments that the ancient and endless process of trade brings to modern life. And here is a bright illustration of the word starting with G, globalization. A couple of centuries ago, the ancient Oriental market rustled here in the heart of ancient Beirut. Now there is a boring shopping center in its place, and this is very symbolic in my opinion. The fact is that the distant ancestors of the modern residents of Lebanon who launched the process of globalization in the heyday of which we all live today, regardless of whether we like it or not. And if some ancient Phoenicians were here and now, they wouldn't be very upset. They would be delighted. Finally, the inhabitants of the planet Earth managed to bring the business they started to perfection. It's a continuous, round-the-clock trade between cities and towns, countries and continents.